Yes, people, welcome back to Albert J TV, part 3 of live stories. But before we get into anything at all, let's hit the intro. Yes, people, welcome back to Albert J TV live stories, part 3. As you can see, I've got 2 new members. Oh, sorry, 1 existing member and a new member of our family. But guys, before we get into it, you guys should know what to do by now. And there you have it once again. Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button already, what are you waiting for? Smash it, kick it, poke it, do what you have to do. As you can see, I've got 2 special guests with me. We've got a bit of a flavor today. We've got Asia meets Caribbean meets Africa. This is fantastic, man. This is the best club sandwich ever. But without further ado, guys, you can see the guys' Twitter handle, below the bottom of the screen, Kesh and gooners. I'll Let's Debate Footy. First, I'm going to introduce my newbie, the man full of sauce, exuberance, the new man on the YouTube scene, and I'll call my brother, Sulz. It is a pleasure to have you on for the first time on my channel. Tell the guys where they can find you, man.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me. Like you said, Caribbean meets Asians. I was ready. I got my Caribbean drink out for you guys. Yeah. If you don't know what K is, I don't know what rock you've been living under, man. It is one of the best drinks going. And no, thank you for having me. Sulz, at Let's Debate Footy. If you don't already know, you'll find me under the hashtag of Mystic Souls. I've predicted a lot of football games and how they're going to go. And I'm just glad we've got through. And yeah, no, it's going to be an epic show. So you already know what to do. Subscribe, like people, and show some love on this channel.
No, I appreciate the kind words, man. And guys, as you can see, aka Pastor Kesh has returned to Albert J TV. Kesh, I've missed you. I don't know where I know where you've been. You've been live streaming all over the place, but yeah, always respect your footballing opinions. If we do disagree, which is very rare, we always come together like big men and just put the differences aside. That's what you should do, really. Doesn't always happen, but it can happen sometimes. But Kesh, welcome again, man. Where can the guys find you, man?
Of course. Thanks for having me. Yeah, you can find me on my Twitter. That is _KESH _. And you can also find me over on the Football Terrace and EGTV.
Yes, people, you hear that? Go and follow my guys on their social media and go and subscribe to Sulz's channel. Kesh is obviously thinking about where he's going to make that step, but give it time. Kesh, when he's ready, he'll do his thing, man. He'll do his thing. But yeah, guys, I want to first sort of get the most obvious things out of the way, because obviously I've not spoken to you guys in regards to the positive result against Olympiacos, and I'll touch on Tottenham a little bit. So yeah, starting with you, Kesh, actually. Yeah, what did you make of? I'm sort of a loaded question, but I'm sure you'll answer it in whatever way you want to do it. What did you make of the team lineup and the performance that the boys gave against Olympiacos?
The team lineup. I thought it was a solid lineup. If you look at how certain players who started have recently picked up a bit of form. Certain players like Willian, for instance, he's finding his feet now. He's starting to do things a lot quicker on the ball now, which was always playing against him, because sometimes you will dilly-dally on it and get caught on it. I know a lot of us thought we would have seen Pepe for a reason, because he's missed the last 2 games and everything, but I didn't really question it. I thought whatever team we put out there, we should go and beat this Olympiacos team.
Yeah.
We started the game very dominant. We had possession in their half, probably like the first 30th minute. you had a few chances, and you just think, don't tell me it's going to be one of those days again where it comes back to order. He scored the goal. I thought, okay, cool, we're in control of this now. Hopefully, you could just smash it in the first half, get players off, ready for the North London derby. It wasn't to be. We ended up going in half time, coming back out, conceding. Then you thought, oh no, like this is just Arsenal, difficult Arsenal. Just shooting ourselves in the foot. It's always just us causing self-harm. Then the game just changed. The tide just changed, and you thought, they're smelling our fear now. They've got their tails wagging now. And then one of the key moments in that game, and I'm not one of Bellerin's biggest fans. Like in the final third, he didn't play too well. Well, he didn't play too well in terms of linking up with Odegaard and everything. He put a couple good crosses in and everything, but defensively, he was a lot better in that game. He was a lot better. The key moment where he blocked it, I'm telling you, if that went in, who knows what would have happened? Who knows? And you wouldn't want to give Olympiacos 2 goals and then them coming to our ground the following week. It's back against the wall after that, you know what I mean? So that block was key in the game. Then we ended up going on and scoring. And then when you saw the substitution, El Neni was there getting prepared to come on. And I saw a lot of negative reviews on Twitter. And I'm thinking, all right, cool. This could either go one way. Well, he's either going to come on, we're going to shore it up, and we're going to just try and keep the lead as 2-1, which is a bad result away from home, you know what I mean? He came on, and then, we scored the third, and you're thinking, all right, cool, substitute paid off, can't really question it, well done. And, you just sort of put your hands up and say, well done to the team. Well done, that's what you can say, really.
Cheers, Kesh. It's before I give my opinion, let me get good points, man. I think for me, before I come to you, goodness souls, for me the big turning point was to get the second goal. I'm not saying 1-1's a bad result, but I always say when you go away in the first leg in Europe, in the knockout stage, you have got to score because you're leaving yourself wide open for the second leg. But yeah, goodness souls, let me bring you in. Yeah, it was same question I sort of asked to Kesh to you. Team lineup and what you thought the performance that Arsenal put against Olympiacos.
I think the lineup was as expected, and I know a lot of people were expecting maybe Nicola Pepe to play because of his drop-offs in terms of not being in the squad or starting in the last sort of 2 games. But my problem is, right, when we set up, especially in Europe, you have to have players who are going to tactically stick to the game plan. Now, as good as like Martinelli and Pepe are, they're not disciplined tactically. And that's one of the issues that we have with them. And it doesn't mean they're bad players or they can't change games. It just means when you're in Europe, you have to set up in a certain way, and that's what Willian offers. I'm not saying Willian's brilliant or he's next level and he's different source or anything, but he does what the managers ask him to do, and he does it very well. So that's why when he came out, I was like, you know what, I don't particularly mind the fact that Willian's playing because I get where it's coming from. You can't have too many players like Aubameyang, Saka, and Pepe who are all going to be direct runners. One thing I do want to say, Aubameyang, man, you need to fucking step up. I've backed him all season. His mentality is not in the game anymore. He seems like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's still his mum, but he needs to man up and tell us because I feel like he's now becoming a detriment to the team and he's going to become a villain. He's been a hero for us. He's becoming a villain. He's going to have that same storyline as Ozil, in my opinion, if he carries on the way he's going. But I don't want to bash him too much because he's given us some brilliant moments as Arsenal fans. But he really does need to now become that captain, that leader, that talisman, the Obama blood clot Yang that we know and love, because he's slowly becoming a villain. And how long can you give him? I know people say, yeah, give him the season. He's won us an FA Cup. But I'm sorry, that's not Arsenal Football Club. If you want that, go Crystal Palace or something where, because you won a game, you can have a season off. We're not going to allow that at Arsenal Football Club, not for long. But I'm not going to bash the team because, look, a 3-1 win, regardless of how it came, whether it was luck, whether it was tactical genius, that's what we wanted as fans. We got what we wanted and we're still complaining. Yet, there's fans out there telling us we can't be happy because it's only Olympiacos. Oh, they look shit. I don't care. You have to beat and you have to get the results in whatever is in front of you. Do you know what will happen, right? We'll go into this North London derby. They play shit. We'll be like, oh, yeah, but Spurs played shit. That's the problem. Chelsea, the same excuse. Leeds, same thing. You know, whenever we win, it seems like the team is shit. But they don't forget, leading up to that, we were meant to lose.
Yeah.
Chelsea, were we meant to beat them? No. Leeds, were we meant to beat them? No. Were we, you know, even Olympiacos people, oh yeah, I'll take a draw. Then you get a 3-1. They're still complaining. I'm getting to that point of where that's why I celebrate these results, because we may not get many more of them. I'm not going to sit here and say, look, we're gonna definitely win the Europa League, but every result that we get positive, we have to support the team. We have to keep a positive vibe going. I always say, put a positive vibe out there, and you'll get one back. You know, back the boys when they perform. Criticize them when they don't. But there's no point being upset when the result has gone exactly the way you wanted it to go. Yes, we could have got more goals. Of course we could. That's the story of our season. We have not finished our chances enough this season. That's why we are where we are. That's not a tactical thing. That is simply the players, for whatever reason, dropping off in form, not being the way we've seen them. Saka as well, you have to say it. You know, his finishing is becoming a concern for the team. He's doing everything right. I love Saka. You know, people know, you know, I've said, you know, my famous saying is, you know, he's a hand gift, you know, wrapped by God himself. He said, you man have been suffering for far too long. Let me give you Bukayo Saka. You know, let me put that smile back on your faces. That is who Bukayo Saka is every time I see the man play. But his finishing needs to improve, because there were some chances where, I'm sorry, as a Premier League player, you have to be scoring. Otherwise, you'll soon see yourself dropping down the pecking order in terms of who's going to be picked in the Euros. And but you know what? It was a brilliant result. Not the performance I wanted. I think we could have played better. I will say that, because I'm very critical of the team. But we've done what we needed to do. Now, come on, Arsenal. It's all over to you not to fuck this up like you have done in the past. It's about staying structurally rigid. It's about being disciplined. It's about being concentrated. You've got a 3-goal away goal. All you need to do is score 1 goal, and the tie is definitely done. Because I don't see them scoring 3, because we gifted them that goal.
No, Sulz and Kesh, great points. Sulz, I'm glad you mentioned about Aubameyang, because I know how big a fan you are of his, but you know, you're also aware, and you can see, you know what, this guy needs to do a bit more. You know, there's games when I think it was the I can't remember if it was the first leg or second leg against Benfica. Where he was sharp in the first half, the first 25, 30 minutes. The second half, I didn't realize he was playing. I genuinely did not know he was playing. I genuinely didn't know he was playing. And you make a good point in regards to if we win. It's crazy. It's almost a case of, if we win, oh, but you know what, they weren't good enough, or they gifted us a chance. Or, there's always a narrative as to why we won. Like, I mean a negative narrative, sorry, not a positive one, but my sort of quick take on the game, really. It's weird. I thought we was comfortable, but without having played that well. I don't know what that says about Olympiacos. They've got a good record domestically in their league, and I don't shun away from that. People talk about, you know, the weakness of other leagues, but at the end of the day, this is the same team we lost to last season. So you know, let's balance that. But we was comfortable. Leno, I mean, we almost made the mistake in the first half of David Luiz, and the issue I've got is mistakes happen in football matches, but it's the experienced players that keep doing it. It's the experienced guys that keep doing it. You know, honestly, if I was on that pitch as a midfield player, I could have gone for him if you give me that pass. I would have gone for him, because
David Seaman said that. He said he would never have done that. Yeah,
because the thing is, you've already created the angle from Gabriel's giving the ball back to you. The obvious pass was David Luiz to your right. Why would you give a pass to a centre midfield player when he's in a circle where he's got each Olympiacos each point? It's suicidal to do that. But yeah, you know what? The big turning point. You're right. When the Olympiacos got the goal that we gifted them, we was rocking for about 15 minutes. We was in danger of actually that tie getting away from us very, very quickly. So to get that second goal, fantastic header from Gabriel. And there was a lot of rumblings on Twitter that I saw. I don't know if you guys saw it, that they was a bit surprised Gabriel started. I was the complete opposite. I was like, no, I want this guy as my main centre back, or at least someone partnering him, as opposed to him not being in the team. People need to remember, first three out of the 4 months of the season, he was our player of the month.
Yeah, COVID had a part to play with it.
COVID had a big part, as you've seen with some of the Newcastle boys who got COVID, who were out for the end of time, let's say Maximum, LaSalle. So guys need to remember that. But to score 3 away goals, like I said in my title, my match review, valuable away goals. To get the third was a bonus. Great strike by Oneni. And we move to the second leg. But obviously, I'm going to touch on the Tottenham game tiny bit before I'll get your score predictions at the end of the podcast. So going into tomorrow, I'm not going to ask you so much to name the team lineup, because trying to second guess the Mikel Arteta team, you might as well go and play the lottery today. Go to Sainsbury's or Tesco's and go queue up with do about 20 lucky dips, because you got more chance. But what I've noticed of Arsenal, obviously with a run of games, is the last 3 games we've had, I think, 5 changes in 2 of the games, 6 changes in 1. Tomorrow I would expect probably around 4/5. I'd expect Laka to come in possibly. ESR, Pepe, and Cedric. Would you agree with that, Sulz, or what do you think? You think might not be many as changes?
No, I do think there is going to be rotations just because of how congested the season has been. I know we're only in the Europa League and Premier League at the minute, but you still have to rotate and you have to use your squad well. The players you mentioned are not bad, and they can win a North London derby for us. So I do think you're right. I don't know how. Obviously, you can never guess how many changes or if any changes at all will be made. Mikel Arteta is one of those. It's like previously we used to say Pep Roulette for FPL players. They'll always be like, oh yeah, here's Pep Roulette. We don't know which player is going to play. You might as well just not have a City player in your team. Now it's like Arteta. It's like, you're never going to know, because Bellerin could play again, or it could be Cedric, or you never know. Cedric could finish the season now and Bellerin never plays again. You just don't know with the guy. And I do think the changes he makes are sometimes right. And I do expect rotation, I'll be honest.
Kesh, same question to you, my friend. Any alternatives to what I've said, or you just expect them standard 4 or 5 changes?
I expect about 4 or 5 changes. I have a feeling that you might see the likes of a Martinelli and Pepe on both sides. Just have a little hunch. I'm not sure, but we'll see. As Gunnar Sol says, like, you just never know. And yes, I know sometimes you do make the mistake, but that's on the fan eyes. We don't know what the training session was like, or the conditions of these players. Yes, you could say we all have our favourites and we all want them to play at times, but it doesn't mean that they are the right players for the match in particular.
Yep.
Whoever, this is Arsenal, like, so whoever goes out there, you expect them to perform to a certain standard, rather than giving away silly chances. Half of the teams that we play, they barely create against us, and that's the honest truth. They barely create. It's always us gifting them. And I understand, yes, we're saying it's the system that, but the system doesn't force you to make mistakes. It's about decision making.
Yeah, 100%.
We need players who've got better decision making. Players who actually, pass appreciation. When I used to play football, coach always told you, pass appreciation. Watch out for your teammates.
Yeah.
Don't play them into trouble. So, that's just things that these players need to eradicate from their game.
Yeah, 100%. No, well said. But no, that's, what, I'm gonna get your score predictions towards the end of the live stream. But guys, big up to the guys in the chat. It's lively, man. Jeez, man, you guys have come out in full, so I appreciate it, man. Got 2 special guests, man. So make sure you follow them on their Twitter if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Go and do it. You can multitask. So let's kick off live stories, man. Right, let's kick it off. So I'll give you guys obviously the heads up of what I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna kick off with Kesh. Your favorite Arsenal player and why? Your Arsenal journey as a fan and why Arsenal FC over any other football club. Kick it off, my friend.
Current team, or does that have to be current team? Favorite player?
No, I would say in your lifetime, mate. In your lifetime.
Or you can do both if you want.
True.
Whatever suits your boat.
My lifetime would have to be the famous Thierry Henry. Kiki, like, come on. The guy was a monster for the team. If you talk about sheer arrogance, and not only the arrogance, but the actual ability to match it, some of the things he does, like, you just think, wow, like, who does this guy think he is? Like, he just doesn't. He respects players, but he doesn't respect them on the pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Current, listen, it's got to be Saka, man. He's one of our own.
My boy, man. Nigerian brother.
He's come through the academy. He knows what it feels to be like a fan. I remember during the period where we wasn't winning at all, and he came out on Twitter and he says, "Listen, like, we need to do better. You fans deserve better." And since he made that tweet, everything just went up a level. You know, so that's someone that actually cares about us. So it has to be him. My journey started just from watching the likes of Bergkamp, Henry. I fell in love with that team, and back then, like, my family, like, we didn't really wasn't like well off or anything. So I remember going on, you know, when you had teletext for the transfer news and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's having to doing that, trying to find out news. I remember being in Brixton and I'm thinking, who's Arsenal signing this summer? I'm reading the newspaper, I'm seeing again Eduardo. I'm like, Brazilian, but plays for Croatia. This guy must have some flair in that, man. Come on. And then, you know, we signed him and I'm thinking, what a player. Just unfortunate that he managed to get that injury and everything. So yeah, that's how it started. And my first journey, I think my first game was against Old City. I was so late, bruv. Like, you know what I mean? So late.
Everyone has a journey. Yeah, everyone has a journey.
I've got to the stadium. I'm trying to find my seat. I'm running around. I did a full lap around the Emirates. By the time I got down there, the Nilsson scored a screamer against them. I'm like, cool. But yeah, that's how it started, man.
No, cool. No, what's okay? Just quick before I come to gooners, what's your in terms of what's your sort of your best memory or the one that always sort of sticks out to you more than any other? Because everybody's different, but I have mine, which I've spoken about. I'll talk about, you know, the Winners' Cup win in '94 because that's our last European trophy, and I'm old enough to remember it. Because for a lot of the Arsenal fan base who you know, we wasn't around in 1970. You know, we can't know who was born. What's the best for you, man?
I've got a few, you know, but
just
the one that sticks out to me the most was the game where we beat Barcelona. I've not seen the Emirates rock like that ever. And being there in person, feeling the joy with all the rest of the fans, you know, you'll start hugging strangers, screaming on top of your lungs. Like, my voice was gone after that. You know what I mean? And just to beat Barca, you know, like, it showed that we had so much ability back then.
Yeah, the second goal was insane, man. Insane,
crazy goal, you know. And that's the belief that we need to put back into this team, and it will come. I believe it will come.
Yeah, it's going to be a bumpy road, man. But we'll go. No, Kesh, appreciate your insight, man. We're outside for you. Yeah, goodness, I was the same thing for you, my friend, man. Kick it away, man. Give me some more sauce, bro.
Do you know what? Yeah, my favorite players are always the ones. I'm not going to say our fans underappreciate, but they're underappreciated in football in terms of Dennis Bergkamp. I just think that guy was just different gravy. And you know what it is? The obviouses are like Thierry Henry and, you know, your Tony Adams and your Vieiras. But I think they get the plaudits like straight on from every fan. But Dennis Bergkamp, for me, just doesn't get that plaudit. And I don't understand why, because the guy was always 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of the game. Before he got that ball, he already knew what was going to happen. You know, that's how good he was, you know. And that's, for me, just always someone I mimicked my game around, you know, someone that, you know, when I was growing up, I was like, I want to be like Bergkamp, you know, just flair, sauce, his passing ability, the way he can just score different types of goals. You know, he was amazing. And the way that I came, my Arsenal journey was just, you know, it was so strange because it actually started from Barcelona. And I know that's going to sound a very strange answer, but I love teams that play football. And what Wenger did for the Premier League, he introduced total football to the Premier League. He revolutionized the way we now see football. He started that. And no disrespect to Fergie, but Fergie played a very effective but traditional style of football in terms of your sort of setback, absorb pressure and counter him. And, you know, as much as I loved that growing up in Manchester and being an Old Trafford boy and all that, but I just fell in love with Arsenal with the way they played, the way they could just one-touch football and the flair they had, the arrogance they had, but they also had the class afterwards as well. It's like, you know, MMA fighters, they'll show that disrespect before going into the octagon, but then they show the respect
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah,
It's like that. That's how I always value Arsenal. Like, we've got the arrogance and the cockiness, you know, in the tunnels and stuff. But after the game, we'll show our respects to the team, regardless of result. And that's why I love them like so much, because it's a no bull. It used to be a no bullshit club. You know, we were as good as we were. We were arrogant. We recruited well. We never had these big names coming in until they came to Arsenal. You know, Thierry Henry came from Monaco. You know, we had Vieira come in, who wasn't a big name. You know, we had Bergkamp, who made his name at Arsenal, and that's why I loved it, because I've always been that kind of player where I don't necessarily like clubs that sign players. Hence why my love for Barcelona, and hence my love for Arsenal, because it's all about the youth, recruiting properly, not going out. And recently, obviously, football's changed with the amount of money that's come into it. And in terms of when you asked, about what my favorite moment was, just for the nostalgia, right? It was when, you know, Henry came on in his first touch, he scored against Leeds. Just for the nostalgia, that brought back so many memories for me. And every time I look at that goal, I'm just like, this is, you know, like, because it shows just that moment, but it shows you everything else, and it brings back every single memory I've ever had for Arsenal.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, like, it was amazing. Like, out of nowhere, oh yeah, Thierry Henry's being subbed on. First on, it's a goal, it's Thierry Henry, he's done it for Arsenal. Yeah, and I just brought up so many more memories for me than, like, and the Barcelona one, you know, beating a team that no one ever gave us a chance against, and we turned up, you know. And you know what? There's so many memories, man. But recently, this club has just gone into something else. But hopefully, man, as a club, we can hopefully find that glory days back.
Yeah, no, guys, great insight. Let me go into my one. I think it's probably a bit obvious from people who know me. Yeah, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. Patrick Vieira, you know, I wasn't a midfield player, I was a striker. But just if I played as a striker, I'll tell you what, that's one midfield player I'd want playing behind me. Absolutely, 100%. For Arsenal and France, I thought the guy in his pomp, I think no one could touch him if I'm to be honest. Obviously, Sulz make a good point, and Kesh and people in the chat about Bergkamp. His technical ability was something I hadn't seen for a long time when I was a bit younger. I thought this guy's different class. Yes, I know it didn't work out for me in Milan, but it doesn't work out for everybody who goes to Italy. Trust me, whether you're English, from Denmark, wherever country you're from, sometimes it doesn't work. Maybe it's just the style of football over in Italy. But when we got him, I couldn't believe it, if I'm being honest. But obviously, Thierry Henry, Kesh, you're right, the arrogance. And even if you just go into YouTube or any other search engine, just look up highlight reels of Henry, man. In his pomp. He even scored goals for Arsenal. I forgot he scored.
Yeah.
Obviously, guys, I have to give plaudits to Ian Wright, man. I tell you what, I think people who probably didn't get to see him play, obviously they can't help when they're bored. Some of that guy's goals were insane, man. I'm gonna try and get a couple. Kesh, don't spoil it, because I'm gonna try and get it on the screen. 2 secs. I'm gonna try and get it. You've got a couple of Ian Wright goals. There's specials, man. Beautiful goals. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Gonna get it up on the screen now. This goal against Leeds, man. It's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the chip, bro. Stop it, Righty.
Yeah.
Stop it, son. Unbelievable goal, man. But guys, you know what? There's another goal as well. This is actually my favorite Ian Wright goal. Now, many of you know he actually didn't have a particularly good record against Peter Schmeichel. But there's one goal he did score against Schmeichel. Wow. This is going way back, early 90s. For the younger viewers out there who didn't see this, we're going to show you now. Let me just share this now. Kesh and gooners, you should stand up and applaud. This goal was just insane, bro. Ian Wright, Jesus Christ, man. Honestly. Right, let me get the goal up. Here we go. Righty, take it away, son. Even KC was in this. Look at the instinct, bruv. Are you sick, bro?
Yeah.
Right. Beautiful goal, man. Sick goal, man. But unfortunately, we lost that final. We lost that on penalties to Man United, but never mind. But the goal was fantastic, man. Brilliant goal. Righty, my guy, man. So, yeah, guys, thanks for your insight. Brilliant, man. This one, next part of Life Stories question. And this is not an easy question. Even I was racking my brains when I was thinking, you know what? I've asked them the question, but even I'm struggling to think. But before I ask you guys, right? I mean, as I say to you before, obviously I love Arsenal and whatever, but I love football in general. I look at when Blackburn won the league in 94, 95. Alan Shearer and Chris Sutton that season were phenomenal. You know, Bergkamp and Ian Wright, and you had, you know, Henry and Bergkamp. You had, you know, Teddy Sheringham and Klinsmann in the early days of the Premier League. The sick combination, bro. And you obviously had York and Andy Cole. So yes, Gunnar, I'm going to come to you first, mate.
Is this actual partnerships or just two? It could be just two players.
Like strike partnerships you've seen or
also they actually play together. All right. In that case, I was gonna go with Henry and Shearer, but obviously the question changed. But it was gonna be Bergkamp and Henry. I just think the way them two play together, there are others as well, like, you know, Rooney, Ronaldo, for example. That partnership was really good. There's so many other partnerships in the Premier League's been blessed with so much, you know, talent and how many eras of football we've had, and, you know, just been phenomenal. Even when Tevez was at United as well. But I've got to say, like, for me, growing up, watching Bergkamp and Henry play football was just sublime. Like, I've not seen that sort of partnership in a very long time. The closest I've seen to that is MSN coming in, you know, when Messi, Neymar, and Suarez came in and took over Europe. That's how good that partnership was for me. Like, you know, coming into UCL finals, you know, dominating Europe, you know, one of the final times we've ever done that, where we looked like we could go win, you know, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, and they were just different gravy. Like, there were unknown entities coming into the Premier League and just teared it apart. Bergkamp's flair, skill, and ability just to pick out a pass from nothing, you know, turned his back against goal, put him in on goal, regardless of what you did with him. And then Henry's arrogance and just, you know, pure ability to just find the goal from any angle, from any position. Some of the goals were ridiculous. Like, how on earth did they go in? So for me, like, growing up watching that, I've just still yet to see a partnership that's better than that in the Premier League.
No, it's a good. It's not even a biased shout. If anybody who, irrespective of whatever team you support, if you're watching football for just for a pure entertainment factor and looking at relationships and saying, you know what, wow, unbelievable. Now, goodness, I was big up to you, man. Kesh, what about you?
There's been so many, you know. Like, you look at the Berbatov, Rooney, that was quite a good one.
Yep.
The Teddy Sheringham in Yorkie and that.
Yep.
There's been quite a few, but, you know, like, if you talk about sheer skills, ability, flair, picking out your strike partner, Henry and Bergkamp, they're top notch. Like, they're up there. When you're talking about clutch moments and things like that, them two at it, you know. So I'd have to stick with my gooners.
Yeah. No, fair play. You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that. Obviously, being an Arsenal fan, but you know what? I have to say, that sort of season, the 98-99 season with United doing the trouble, I thought Cole and York, as a pair, man. Like, not just, you know, not people say they got on well off the pitch, which they did, but geez, the chemistry on it, that goal against Barcelona at the Nou Camp, that sort of 1-touch, 2-touch in between them two, that goal was phenomenal. Just a relationship between them two was just different class. Yeah, it used to pay me as an Arsenal fan to watch them play and see how good they were, because they gave us a couple of trounces as well. But yeah, for me, I just, as a partnership, yes, obviously I love Bergkamp, but that season I saw Cole and York, I said, wow, like that's what you call forward players a pair. Like,
I was just born that year, mate. I didn't get to watch them.
Don't worry, but there's enough search engines out there. Don't worry about that, man. But no, guys, appreciate it, man. This is an interesting question. I'm gonna bring up next. Let me go to the chat. Yeah, Shearer, they were that season. They was very good. Shearer and Sutton, very, very good. Colin York, Bergkamp and Henry, 2 partnerships were insane ground up. Ryan, big shout out to you, my bro. Big up to the guys in the chat. If you haven't already, smash that like button straight away. Kesh, I'm gonna come to you for the next round, mate. I'm gonna get this up. Now, I know you haven't got a YouTube channel, but I know you obviously live stream a lot, so you're more than qualified to answer this question. So Kesh, mate, what would be your advice to anyone who was thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Give some pros and cons, mate.
For me, I think it's a positive thing to do. Like, if you love football, you get to meet so many wonderful people online who actually got knowledge on the game and everything. And you know, when you speak to these people, you get different insights into things. You also share your insights, and you kind of pick things up off each other. Um, the only con for me is, you know, the Twitter world, you're gonna have certain jackasses that like to run their mouth on things, haven't got any respect. It's all about coming at you and being disrespectful, when really and truly it doesn't have to be that way. You can all share your opinions and you move on respectfully. It's also, you have to be mindful that you don't get caught into this world and you allow it to mess with your mental health and things like that. Because
100%.
we see that quite a lot on Twitter. Sometimes you see YouTubers, they have to take a break from it and everything. So you have to be open-minded and, you know, keep your head in the game and everything. But it's a positive world to be in, honestly.
I'm gonna say, Kesh, I'm gonna before I come to goodness, I want to ask you probably a couple more questions or one more. So what kind of made you get into it, or what source of networking did sort of started you off doing it?
For me, what was it? I think it was when it was Sunny TV. Sunny TV was doing it. I was listening to it, but you would hear a lot of things that was said, and you just disagree, and you thought, you know what? Let me share my point of view and see. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong, you know. And obviously, you meet these people and you get into it and everything. And you know, for the love of your football club, when you was in lockdown, you get to associate it. It's a feel good factor, you know. Speaking, getting things off your chest and everything, and that was one of the reasons. And then ever since then, I've just been involved in it, really.
I think you're muted.
You know what? Sorry about that. I could hear there was some drilling outside. I was thinking, we're drilling at this time, bro. This is crazy at this time of the day. But no, yeah, same question to you, goodness. I know you haven't been doing it long, but what have you sort of same question in terms of what advice would you give to anybody? Yeah.
I think the biggest advice, obviously, other than what Kesha says, I said be yourself, because there's a lot of people, I'm not going to name people, but there are people on the platform, not even in the football world, just in general, that are so fake to who they are that it comes to show in time. So don't build this sort of personality on your just because the cameras are rolling, and you know, just be yourself. Essentially, that's the biggest advice that I can give. And also, you know what, like, I probably had a lot of thoughts about what many people do before they want to start YouTube, which is, how will it come across? Will I get hate? Will this happen? Will that happen? The truth of the matter is, no matter what path of life you go through, whether it's on cameras or not, it's going to happen. You know, whether your colleagues show a little bit of hate towards you when you're due for a promotion, or whether, you know, people think, oh, no, you just got the job because of, you know, this and that other reason. You're always going to get it. So, you know, it doesn't make a difference to me whether I'm hated for what I say or not, because it's part of life. And I think that's one of the mentality things you have to come in with, you know, if you want to do this. And mentality is the biggest thing that I can say. Don't do it if you're bothered by people's opinions, because it will massively, massively affect you. I don't want to say people who have killed themselves and stuff like that, but I'd always say, look, you know, when you put yourself out there, you have to expect that you're not always going to be loved. Your personality, who you are, may not be loved by everyone, and you have to accept that. But the pros are, like the people I've met, I can make a whole stream just thanking people I've met who I've come across, you know, and I've only been doing YouTube for about, say, 2 months now, and I've met some of the most brilliant people I never ever thought I'd meet, you know, because, like, for example, yourself, Albert, you know, Kesh, I've had a few convos on Twitter, like comments and stuff, and, you know, Jess, you know, Tanner, like people, everyone pretty much in the comments as well, I've had interactions with. I could go all day naming people, you know, who I've come across, and trust me, man, like, the people who do this are fucking incredible. Like, every single one of them, even people that I may not particularly like, but when I talk to them, I'm like, you know what, I get your point of view, I get where you're coming from as well. And when you speak to people, they're fucking brilliant. Like, I can't say it enough. And that's why I do say, you know what, there will be, like I said, people on Twitter that are just pricks. You just have to get past that. because there'll be more people supporting you and loving you than hating you. And I think that comes as a pro and a con. I think if you're going to do it, go for it, because you'll get more support than hate. And trust me when I tell you, right, there'll be people who will give you the time of day if you're real to yourself and if your personality connects with you. And if you're fake, trust me, people are going to see that through you and be like, you know, I can't be bothered with this person. So that's what I can say. I know I've not said particularly pros or cons, but just general advice if you're looking to get into it.
No, bruv, that is exactly what you should be saying, because I'll give you my sort of kind of feelings in terms of the question I put to you guys. Like I said, I'm not by no means, I'm no expert. I've said that, I've expressed that quite a few times. I only started a YouTube journey back in June last year. You know, people had said to me, kind of, you know, I'm surprised you hadn't sort of got into it. But I sort of bit the bullet and whatever. You make a good point, Sulz and Kesh, in regards to, if you're worried about everybody's opinion, this is not the platform for you, man. Seriously, it just isn't. I'm big on the thing is, I see Kesh and Sulz, you'll see it. Some of the guys in the chat who've got YouTube channels, you'll see it. I see a lot of people with channels. You're just not authentic, and people absolutely see right through that. So if you want to try and go down the route of copying people from what you might see the regulars, for example, on AFTV, you know, I'm a fellow Nigerian guy, I'm positive. I like to, you know, you like to dance and think. I see people doing that on Instagram. I'm like, that's not you. Like, I can see right through that. Don't try and be somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
You know, if it's natural to you, if you're a funny person, people will find you funny. If you try too hard, then people will see it. It's not.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I would say, in terms of the sort of actual question, you know, you'll meet some great people, you will, but then on the flip side of it, you will come across some idiots. Listen, I've been on Twitter over 10 years, and that's a long time. I've sort of engaged more of it over the last 3-4 years. But I would just say, do your research. It may sound very, very simple. Sit down, watch channels, watch how people interact, watch combinations, watch people do the videos on their own. There's enough YouTube content out there. If you're unsure of how it works, go and do your research. Like I said to you guys off camera, and I've said it publicly on live streams, one, it's not everybody you're going to work with. Not because you're arrogant, but maybe because you just haven't got the time. Or two, actually, maybe you do want to avoid working with people because the energy and the vibe is just not there. You will pick that up very, very quickly if you decide to jump into this YouTube game. And what I would say, you mentioned a good thing about friendship, you guys, and meeting people, different opinions and whatever. The biggest thing I would say to people in terms of any haters you get out of there, keep them at arm's length. But the biggest thing I'd say to anybody that wants to get into it or who is already in the YouTube world, quality over quantity. I see a lot of channels out there putting content, video after video after video after video after video, and I sit back as a viewer watching a channel or watching a live stream and think to myself, what are you trying to do? Whether it's the title, whether it's what you're talking about, what are you trying to achieve? Don't just put content out there for the sake of putting content out there. Remember, quality over quantity. Trust me. And that's what I'll say. Big up to the guys in the chat. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Kesh and Sulz, appreciate your feedback. Now, the next thing, this is what I've been looking forward to, man. 43 minutes in. Right. Now, I obviously have to ask the guys beforehand. I'm going to get the question up on the screen because obviously, when I asked this question of Kesh and Sulz, now, the thing is, when you do a World 11 team, there's no point, for example, me picking a team with having Pele and Bobby Charlton. I never see them play. I've never seen them play, so I can't pick guys I've never seen play. I've asked the guys to do it on players they've seen play and who've made an impact on them, formations, systems. What I'll do, guys, when I'll let Kesh and Sulz talk a bit more about it, I'm actually going to put a poll out on Twitter, and I want you to pick your best team out of mine, Sulz, and Pastor Kesh. So, what is your best World 11 of team full time that you've seen play? Who would be your captain and your manager? Right, guys, I'm going to get to talk about a little bit about your teams and what you found difficult more than anything in terms of players you left out, and yeah, I'm gonna get gooners Sulz's team up first, right?
Oh,
Let's see now. Don't worry, man. So it's a top team, man. Top
yeah,
team.
I know.
Where is it?
But
Where is it? Where is it? We get Sulz. Let me get the banner off the screen. This is the team that gooners Sulz has picked. He has gone for a 4-3-3. gooners Sulz, explain to me what you found. Firstly, what players that you wanted to get in but you couldn't get in because the team was too talented.
yeah, Mukiele, Busquets, your likes of Clarence Seedorf, you have Raul, you've got Nesta, you've got probably even Van der Sar in my time, what he did, Vidic. There's so many that I could, like Cafu, for example, but I didn't get to watch Cafu as much as Dani Alves, hence why he's in there. And then when you go into the attacking areas, you've got like Thierry Henry, you've got the likes of, even some people like Snyder, for example, he was really good as well. It was a very difficult question, but then the way I went around it was I wanted to pick players who impacted me as a football fan, and teams and players that I grew up watching, thinking, flipping hell, mate, these are our players. Like, these are players that we're gonna tell our grandkids about. And there's so many more. This is just 11, and I hate this question, but I love it at the same time. And I'll explain why. Iker Casillas, for me, just what he won as a player was just incredible. Captain Spain, captain Real Madrid, a legend of the game. He's going to be remembered for years to come, for everything he's done, winning Champions Leagues, League Cups, winning the league with them as well. Dani Alves, one of the most decorative, wing backs in world football in terms of what he won for club and country. Fabio Cannavaro, he was solid. He was just one of the best defenders I've seen in a very, very, even till this day, like with Cannavaro, Puyol, Maldini, and Dani Alves, I'm still yet to say, I've seen anyone that touches their level. There are players who have done that, but it's just, and the reason why, like, whilst I'm talking about defense, why Puyol's the captain, he was a madman. He was he was a bully, but in a good way. Like, he kept every single player on their toes from minute one to minute. And I remember, like, PK coming out and saying, oh yeah, I was celebrating a goal and Puyol came up to me and said, shut up and start defending. Like, I remember that story, it was so funny because I remember it happening in the game, but I just never knew what was said. And then obviously PK came out and told like the press like what Puyol said to him, and they were actually winning like 3-1 or 4-1 or something at that point as well. And he goes, "Don't go to sleep, mate. We've got a defender." And then Maldini, probably one of the best defensive players I have ever come across. Yeah, and then obviously Xavi, Iniesta.
So I was just gonna say, who when you're picking your team, what was the most difficult pick? Was it the defense? Was it the midfield three? Was it the front three?
Front three, because there was a lot more players that I had to. Because there was R9 Ronaldo, for example, who could have got in there very easily. There was Raul for me, who could have got in there very easily. There was and then because the midfield three for me, I'd always knew what I liked. Xavi, one of his vision of the ball, like his reading of the game, the way he could just pick a pass out from nothing was just incredible. Iniesta, one of the most complete midfielders, in my opinion, in terms of going forward, dribbling, his passing. He could score a goal as well. And then Zidane, I mean, do we even need to say why Zidane's in that team? Like, he was phenomenal. My best moment of him in the headbutt in the World Cup, man. Like, what a moment that was.
I could pick other moments, but I
I rate it for that because now, I've got a bad man in my team, innit? Like, I know if someone's trying to, pull up on my players, I've got someone who's going to come in, do the business. And, he's right about that. Yeah, Barca are like a team that I follow very much closely. And then Messi, Ronaldo, I mean, do we have to say why they're in there? They are my generation, they are my players of my era. I was born in 98, they are players that I grew up watching. In 04, Messi breaking out. In like 02 or 2000, Ronaldo broke out. And ever since, has anyone really performed even close to their standards? There's phenomenal stats about them that you'd have to go 14, 15 seasons scoring 50-odd goals a season just to get close to their goal tallies. And then when you look at Messi, like, you have to do that amount of assists every single season to get his assists. Like, they, for me, are just players that are one of a kind. You know, this is a one of a kind rivalry, and I am so flipping glad. You know, I can tell my kids, my grandkids, and they can say, look, our grandfather, you know what, he was brought up in this generation because they were that good. You know, I'm so happy I've got a story to tell in football. And that's the reason why them two, and then Ronaldinho, man, he was just you know what, like, no matter what team you supported, everyone had a jersey with Ronaldinho on the back of it. I remember United fans, you know, I remember Real Madrid fans that I knew as well had a jersey of his. Like, that's how good he was. And then 4-3-3 and Pep Guardiola just revolutionized football, in my opinion, you know, taking over the Johan Cruyff, you know, football and the way they play football, and just revolutionized. And absolutely, to this day, it is still the most dominant system I have seen to this day. Klopp uses it, Pep uses it, Ajax use it, Barcelona still use it, Real Madrid have started implementing it. You know, that's how revolutionized that Pep Guardiola's football is. Even if you look at Bayern Munich, they still use what he's implemented at Bayern Munich to this day. Hence why, obviously, all these choices come together.
No, it's Sulz. That's when I saw that team. When you gave that team, yes, I said, "Raw, this is a serious team, man. I'm gonna have to think about my team." But no, I was happy with my team. Kesh, I want to get your quick thoughts on Sulz's team, man. I know you're probably thinking your team's better, but we'll get to your team in a minute. Don't worry, man. But what do you make of Sulz's team, man?
Or can I just say, there is one player in Kesh's team, yeah, I have got every single fucking merchandise of, but I'll tell him after.
Yeah, Kesh, quickly, what did you make of Sulz's team, man?
It's iconic. That's what I'll say. It's very iconic.
Serious side,
you're talking play. If you're thinking about positions, and you go over history, every single one of those players, got in with a shot of being put in an all-time 11.
Yeah, good shout.
Every single one of them. You're talking trophies. You're talking credibility. You're talking fan status. They've all got it. They've all got a moment in football where you look and you think, that guy was the shit, man. Yeah?
Yeah.
Obviously, I was going to talk about, but I'll get on to Cannavaro and we get onto my team.
No, Sulz, you've done a good job. But you know what I'm going to do? Once I get all our teams up, I've got the draft ready, man. The vote is gonna start. I know who I think is gonna win. The teams I've seen. I know I'm not gonna say, "Oh, my team's the best." I'm happy with mine, but let's get past the Kesh's team up. Here we go. Kesh, talk to me, man. What was giving you sleepless nights when I told you to pick a world 11, man?
Just the choices, man. The choices, like obviously, with the keepers, like I think Manuel Neuer is one of the best goalkeepers ever. Like he's revolutionized the way goalkeepers play, playing up from the back. Like, you know, when they say keepers are probably the most technical players in a team.
Yeah.
You look at him and you think, yeah, it's true. You talk about Sergio Ramos. I think he's a very good defender. I think he's very underrated by a lot of people, mainly because of the red cards he picks up.
Yeah,
that's just his personality, you know.
Yeah.
The guy likes to get into players and things like that. Cannavaro, for me, if there's any player in football that fascinates me, it's him. And I know people be like, why does a defender fascinate you? Reason being is, he was such a small defender and he managed to hold his own. Like,
brilliant.
You're talking about a guy with a brilliant leap. You're talking a guy that is always on the ball. Some of the tackles that you'll make, you just think, how's this small midget doing that? You know what I mean? How does he do it?
No, you're right, because he wasn't the biggest defender. That's the thing.
He wasn't. So, you know, you got to give a pat on the back for that, you know. And Maldini, I know, yes, he played as a left back mostly in his career, but that's why I went for the three at the back, because I know he can do all that and he can go out wide and defend. For me, the best defender in the world for me. You're talking about players just not being able to get past him. The guy he's a manic. Like, I don't know, he was so consistent for so many years. Then you get onto the midfield now.
Right.
For me, that midfield partnership is the best I've ever seen. Absolute best. They'll play you off the park.
Yeah.
Play you and you won't touch the ball. I've seen them do it to my own team, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of Arsenal fans got such hatred for Barca as well. But you know, you have to heal, let it go, man. Them two guys, man, they're honestly best I've ever seen, and their communication between each other is amazing. Then you get to Ronaldinho. Come on, if you're talking about a beautiful, the art of football, he's such a beautiful man. He's beautiful. Everything that he does on the ball is entertainment, and that's what us as fans like to see. We watch football for the entertainment, and he always had that. You talk about beating a man, making someone look so stupid and things like that. He does it.
Yeah.
You talk about Messi now. Listen, Messi for me, honestly, naturally gifted baller. I know him and Ronaldo, you've got to appreciate them because we won't see anything like it in our generation again.
For a long time.
Anything like it. Yeah. Like the guy is just amazing. He's left footed. He's so cultured that, you know. The right side for me was a very difficult one, but you know, like David Beckham for me, he's iconic, man. So iconic.
When I saw that, I'll be honest. I said, you know what? I can see looking at that team. You can see why he does get in that side. I can see that personally for football. I can see it.
For tactical reasons, you look at it. Listen, you got a man like Ronaldo up top. Yeah. You know he's gonna win the headers. You know he's gonna win there. You got Henry in there, and remember, if you're playing two up top, you need someone who can put a wicked delivery in, and that was Beckham. That's what Beckham's known for. You get to Henry now. Listen, the guy is a beautiful man. Like, he is my dad, but he's not my dad. You know, he is my dad. Like the guy used to bring me gifts every year. That's what he used to do. Bring me gifts. He spoiled me as a kid, and I appreciate the man. I just wish Arsenal could get back to the levels of having players like that again.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you get over to Ronaldo now. Ronaldo, he's a beast. He's not a naturally gifted footballer. He's made in a lab. And for me, you know,
it's a good question.
Of course, it's Manuel Neuer. Come on, we know that.
With the free kicks. That's a hard. Actually, you know what? That's a good question, you know. Because let me get your team up again. Let me see. Yeah, that's a bit difficult, though, bro.
Yeah.
Options. You got options, bro. You got Henry, you got Ronaldo, you got Beckham, Ronaldinho, Messi. All five of them arguing over who's taking.
And Ramos.
Yeah, like you got Ramos who say, let me get on one of them. Yeah, man.
Kesh, bad boy team, man. Gooners, Sulz, let me bring you in quickly. What do you make of Pastor Kesh's team, man?
Yeah, you know, I said I had every single merchandise of one of these players, and unfortunately, it wasn't Henry. It was actually David Beckham. Man, you know the moment that keeps getting me right, and I can't believe Kesh didn't say this, man. It's David Beckham over the free kick. If he scores this, he is going to take the roof off Wembley. It's David Beckham, people. Oh, my God. That was one of the best moments growing up, man. At Wembley, you know, just hearing that commentary, like, mate, it was brilliant. Like, and I tell you what, right, like, David Beckham, again, is one of those players, man, so underappreciated. That guy could pass a ball like no one else.
Yeah, serious.
You know, I'm going to make a bit of a joke, right? But if he was Spanish, right, he'd be a legend without a question. Because he was that good.
Yeah.
And you know what, Kesh, our apps, you know, when I seen your team, I was like, oh my God, I should have that. Because, mate, like, I couldn't. That was one of the things I was just racking my head around. I was like, I don't know how to fit these players in. I need like a 30 team starting 11, not 11. I need 30 people playing.
I have to go for the three at the back, man.
Yeah. No, Gooners, you're right. Because when I got you two guys team, I was thinking, right, you know what? I'm about to rethink about my team. You know?
I hated it. When I seen Kesh's team, I was like, oh man. I'm not changing it now.
No.
The only person that I was unhappy about not getting him was Zidane. But I thought as a number 10, like Zidane is a great player, but you're not leaving Messi out. You know?
No, for real. Right, I'll get to pressures on the host, man, Albert JTV. Right, obviously I'm 21 plus VAT, so there's some players in there, people in the chat or the wider public might be like, "Right, who's that?" But nah, listen, man, it was difficult, bro. It was very difficult. So people, where is my team? Here it is.
Oh, so, wow, okay.
Yeah, so the thing is with me, I had to
Oh, there's another one, Lam. Yeah, he was another one I wanted to get in.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was you mentioned it earlier, goodness, so you're right. I thought because Cafu, I was very tempted.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what, Philip Lahn's with my back four, for example, right? Gosh, let me start with Schmeichel. And I'll be honest with you, this is going way back. This guy played for Denmark. They went to Euro 92. They only got to Euro 92 because Yugoslavia got banned from the tournament, and they obviously took the place. But no one in their right mind would have gone for Denmark to win that European Championship in 1992. Yeah. And Peter Schmeichel was instrumental in them getting to the final. He had the vital penalty save in the semi-final when he saved the penalty from Marco van Basten. For me, just when people talk about presence, this guy's name will be next to it. Some of the size saves this guy would pull off. I remember I said this before. This was early 90s though. United played a Champions League game away, I think, to Rapid Vienna, and he pulled off a save that was likened to Gordon Banks in 1970. That's how good the save was. For me, Schmeichel, it wasn't. Listen, there was the likes of Buffon. Don't get me wrong. I thought, but you know what? I couldn't not have Peter Schmeichel in the team. With the back four, they're all versatile. I'm going to start with Andres Bremer. People might not be 100% familiar with him, but he was played for ex-Inter Milan, German international, World Cup winning fullback, left foot, cannonball. Took penalties with his right foot. Could play right back, could play as centre back cover, but predominantly left back. Had a cannonball left foot, like I said. I said to people, if people were not aware of Andres Bremer, he was the equivalent for me of English version of a Stuart Pearce, but he was a better footballer. Brilliant left back. I could not have a World 11 without having Paolo Maldini and Lilian Thuram in my team. Lilian Thuram was a godsend of a fullback. We started out for France. Absolute animal, pace, strength, good in the air. Obviously, lateral stage of his career, he could play as a centre back with Paolo Maldini as well. So I had to have them two in the centre backs. Philip Lahm, again, right back, left back, good on the ball. You could even play him in midfield if you wanted to as an emergency, different class. You guys would have noticed, right? With all our teams, we've got there's one common denominator in there, Xavi. Yeah. For me, when I look at my team, if you look at the setup of my team, for example, if I want someone receiving the ball off the centre backs or the defence, it's him. If you want a definition of 1-2 touch football, it's him. I've never yes, Spanish players are technically gifted, but I've never seen a player look so comfortable with a football. And it was very difficult to not try and get Iniesta in, because if you're going to pick Xavi, as you guys have done with your teams, you've got Xavi and Iniesta, which makes 100% sense. But for me, I mentioned the guy earlier, and it's not biased. Like I said, Patrick Vieira, for me, in his pomp, was in a different league because he could do everything. It wasn't just a case of him being a midfield enforcer. He could do everything. France had an awful World Cup in 2002. They got embarrassed. There was infighting, everything. They went to the World Cup 4 years later. No one gave them a chance. The way Zidane, in the last stage of his career, the way Vieira played in the last stage of his career in that World Cup was phenomenal. People was like, this is vintage Patrick Vieira. So for me, I had to have him and Zidane in the team. Zidane, you know my thoughts about him. This guy is he's the best player I've seen for me personally growing up. I thought he was different class. Balance, technique, ability to pass, goals, actually good in the air as well. And for me, it was obvious to put Cristiano Ronaldo in the Messi. To me, you'd have to be crazy not to put even them to him. But as you can see, my main striker, boy, there's no way I could not have a world team without Brazilian Ronaldo. Now, for a player who he missed a lot of football, he had a lot of injuries, a hell of a lot of injuries. But if you get over a 5-yard burst of speed, if you let this guy go, you're finished. I don't care what centre back you played in world football. This guy would finish you. He was that good, Ronaldo. It was just different class, man. So people in the chat, people in the live stream, I'm not going to beg for votes, man, but I think I've got a good team. But I'm going to come to Gooners Sulz quickly. What do you make of my... You might not be familiar with some of the names, but I'm sure you're familiar with most of them. But yeah, what did you make of my team, bro, mate?
Like I said, man, I hate this. It's like, now looking at it, like I'm like, this. I can't put an 11 together. It's just impossible. I'd be completely happy. Like I said, like Philip Lahm again, you know, R9 Ronaldo, even Patrick Vieira was a very close shout for my team. Like,
Yeah.
What you said about Xavi played the game at his own speed, mate.
Yeah.
The game was played whatever speed he wanted to play. No matter how good you were of an opposition, yeah, Xavi dictated the game every single time.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and then you've got like Maldini, Thuram, you know, Schmeichel again. Schmeichel's another guy as well.
Yeah, top goalkeeper.
You'd shit your pants, mate. Like, you know, you're not gonna go against what he tells you. If he tells you to go lick the toilet clean, you're gonna go do it because you're not gonna want to mess with a guy like that. I'm telling you. And then you got Patrick. And then if let's say somehow you have the balls to say no to Schmeichel, you know Vieira's coming over to you.
Yeah.
And they're gonna tell you another and that's the thing, you know, like this team is just brilliant leadership all around, you know, in the right places. It's so hard because I love every single one of our teams, and there's a player in there where I'm like, I wish I could fit them in, but they just simply it was impossible because all you got is 11.
Yeah. Gooner Souls, I had that because listen, like I said, I'm an 80s kid, so I remember Lothar Matthäus, that guy for Germany was an absolute beast in the midfield.
You know, another player I just remembered when you said Matthäus, Michael Ballack. I fucking loved him growing up. He was brilliant.
But no, for me, the toughest decisions in my team was actually giving the captaincy. The manager I knew I wanted. I mean, people might be surprised I've gone for Ancelotti, but I just think for that guy's CV, and on top of that, I think he would give my team in terms of the balance between defense and attack. I think would be the best manager that I would put in that team. And you know, you got Thuram in there, you've got Maldini in there. These guys are heavyweight defenders, man. Not just world class, heavyweight defenders. So yeah, Kesh, gonna come to you. What do you make of my fantastic team, bro? No pressure, mate. No pressure.
Get up the street.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, right. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
I had to get Vieira in there. I had to have Vieira. I had to have him in.
It's a world-class team. I remember his last few days. Tremendous defender. Lahm was one of those that I was trying to get in. I was thinking about fullbacks, and I thought Lahm and Roberto Carlos, they definitely get in my team.
Oh.
But with the way I was looking at it and thinking the way I wanted to play and everything, I thought, nah, let's leave them out of it. Xavi, as you said, like the guy is just incredible. What he does, like he plays it at his own tempo. Vieira, he's a man mounted. You know, you don't get past him. He does everything. Zidane, you know, he's going to bring you that control in the game. Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, we know that them two are just extraterrestrial. If you don't believe in aliens, they're right there for you to see. Ronaldo, I didn't see a lot of Ronaldo. I've seen videos and everything. And if you're talking about strikers, if you look at what he does, I know I didn't see a lot of him. You just know that he's different level to anything else. He's different level to anything else. The guy can beat you with pace. The guy can beat you with a bit of skill. Like, you don't want to face him. It's frightening. Like, I think Henry's frightening, but that guy is frightening, bro. Honestly. But yeah, as you said, man, it's so difficult to pick. It is difficult. It just comes down to how you'd want that team to play and what you'd want from your players in certain positions.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
You know what I'm gonna do? I've got some footage. Let me see if I can get. I'm gonna get Ronaldinho. I've had to do you guys service, man. I was crying when I saw some of the footage.
Oh yeah, can I just say, like, Ryan's just made a good comment about Kaká as well. That's another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big shout. What's that, mod? Yeah, let me pay homage to Kesh and Guna Sulz. Let me try and get this footage. Let me get Ronaldinho, king, bro. Absolute king, mate. Where's he gone now? Where's he gone? Here we go. I had to sort of fast forward through the footage, but you guys will get what I mean. Here we go. Ross, let me get that. Let me move that out of the way. What's happening there, man? Up a bit. Oh yeah, skip it. Yeah, here you go. Sorry, bro. Look at this guy, man. Insane, bro.
With the legs.
His skills are sick, bro.
Look at the arrogance, man.
It's madness, bro.
See
Stop
you
it.
later. Goodbye.
Sick guy, man. Look at this. Look. Oh, stop it, man. Oh my god.
That was a charity game as well, that one.
Yeah.
Oh. This guy, man. Sick footballer.
Bye.
Here we go. Look at this. Nah, stop it, bro. Oh my god. This spreader.
Oh my god, man.
Sick footballer, bro. Later. Oh no. Stop it. It's a joy to watch him play, man. Lucky to see him, man. Right, we're gonna show my boy. We're gonna get in. We're gonna show my boy Ronaldo. I have to do this guy homage, man.
I remember FIFA Street, man. The guy plays football like it's FIFA Street.
It is. That's a crime. That nutmeg was. You shouldn't be able to do that, man, to a footballer. Right, here's my boy, man. Let's see him play now. Let's see my boy play. Ronaldo, President Ronaldo. That's it, my boy. Later. See you later. Oh! Beautiful. And to think this guy has so many injuries, though, man. It's mad. He still had the career he had.
He's built like a brick, yeah, but doesn't move like one.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's the thing. If you gave him that 5 yards or 2 yards, it's like see you later.
Listen, all I'm seeing is guys just trying to act out his legs. That's all I'm seeing.
Different class, man. There you have it, man. Yeah, you do, guys. He was. That's my man sitting in the chat. Yeah, he was serious joke, bro. But now, guys, thank you for your. Like, I'm gonna put a poll out. I'm gonna move on to the next question. I'm gonna put a poll out. This will be fun, mate. Trust me.
Yeah, you know what to do, gooners, Sulz. Yeah, just don't even think about that one.
So, guys in the chat, I'm gonna put the poll out on Twitter. People who are gonna watch this on catch up, I'm gonna put it out. I'm gonna put a poll out. Vote for your best team. But anyway, let's move on to the last subject. Big game tomorrow, despite what people may say. End of the day, it's a North London derby. We don't want them getting 6 points out of 6. Goodness, I was going to come to you, my friend. What is your score prediction for tomorrow? How do you see the game going?
Look, the players don't need motivation, man. This is a North London derby. I've said it, this is the game where you can make your career or you can break it. You can become a hero or you can become a villain. This is the game where if you want to prove to us you're fit enough to wear that shirt and you deserve our support, this is the game you do that. And I think, the season and the way that it's been, if they want to show us the mentality change, to us, this is where they show it. And you know what? And I've said it, and I'm very confident. I think we're going to go and beat them. And I know people are going to be on edge on this, but I can never, ever, ever not be confident in beating Spurs. It's just not within me. I'm never not going to be. I'm not even nervous. I'm confident in the lads to get the job.
Sulz, we've got a good record against them at the Emirates anyway. And I think if they haven't done a double over us, if I'm right. I think Rich told me this yesterday, since 1993, which is a long time ago. What's the score you saying? You saying score for tomorrow, man?
I'm going for a 3-1.
Wow,
Arsenal.
That's very confident. Kesh, what are you saying, bruv? How do you think it's going to go?
I'm confident. I think we'll get something out of the game. I feel this game is going to be very vital towards going towards the end of the season for either team. I think whoever wins this game, it will topple them to the top. They'll go on a massive run. So either team that win it, Like, you just have to make sure that it's us, really. As
Yeah.
I said, like, this is Tottenham, innit? Like, we shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to need to get motivation. Like,
Yeah.
it should just be there. Once the whistle goes, you should be bang on it. And I don't want to see a repeat of what happened last year, where
Oh,
we just gave that game to them. You know, they didn't have to work for it. So we need to go out there with our heads on and ready from the minute go.
Kesh, you made a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. I don't want to see Arteta making the same mistakes in the last 2 times we played Tottenham, where it's not easy against them. Mourinho, whatever team manager, he's got a very good record against Arsenal. He just has. It's phenomenal, actually, to be honest. But yeah, I want to see Arteta not sort of fall into a trap to get sucker punched for the 3rd time. Yeah, Kesh, what's the score, mate? So what you say about the score?
I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Arsenal.
Ooh, 2 3-1s, man. You guys are coming with
No. Oh, but look. What we didn't have last time, right? We didn't have Thomas Partey. We didn't have a fit Tierney. We didn't have this mentality. We didn't have a system which we believed in that can get the job done. Now we've got all of that. And now we've got Partey who's seemingly back from an injury. I know it seems like he's playing with something. But even Kieran Tierney seems to be back to himself now. And we've got Gabriel at the back as well. I think we've got this, man. I'm really...
Yeah, do you know why I want to see Pepe play tomorrow? Because no offense, I don't think Tottenham's in the right back area. I don't think they're particularly. I think they're. Not, I won't say very strong. I think that it can get at them, whether it's Doherty or it's Serge Aurier, because Serge Aurier is just rash, man.
He can get a red card.
Yeah, easy. Big up the panel. Yeah. Kesh, I'm gonna go for Kesh and Sulz. I have said it yesterday on a couple of live streams. I'm gonna go for Arsenal to win 2-1. Because I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. Apparently, 9 consecutive games without a clean sheet, boys. So, and Harry Kane always scores against us. So I think it will be 2-1 Arsenal. I think we'll sneak it. But I want to give a big shout out to the guys in the chat because we have come to an end now. Thank you for the guys in chat. Like I said, enough of you was in the chat, like keeping it very, very lively. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to Let's Debate Footy's channel. And obviously follow my boy Kesh on his Twitter handles. As you can see them going along the bottom of the screen. It's your host, shall I say, Albert J TV. Another episode of Life Stories. Now, big up to Kesh and gooners Sulz for coming on, man. It's been great to talk about not just Arsenal, but other aspects of football and why we love the game so much. So, guys, I've put the poll out for you to vote who your best World 11 is out of mine, Kesh, and gooners Sulz. This will be very, very interesting. It's a very difficult choice. Like the boys said, I'll echo what they said. There was a lot of choice and a formation wise and leaving players out. It even upset me to leave certain players out. But we got there in the end. But big up to the guys in the chat. Let me get a few more things in there. Ryan in the chat, big up to you, my friend. If we lose. Great show, guys. So yeah, guys, that is me, your host, Albert J TV. As you can see it, Twitter handle on the screen at AUM57. Big up to Sulz and Kesh. Guys, that is me over and out, Albert J TV. Life Stories Part 3. Big game tomorrow. Come on, you Gunners.